Hello everybody. Thank you for joining Big John Getting in Shape at age 58. Tonight we are going to make dinner, and the dinner is going to be fried chicken medallions and Brussels sprouts with honey and rice. It's a very delicious combination. The fried chicken will be cooked up in the air fryer, and that way it cuts the fat. There's no real fat involved in it at all. Now I have the Ninja air fryer, and it's a good piece of kitchen equipment. So, it's just something to consider. I'll be using less than a teaspoon of olive oil in the bottom of the pan, and the chicken will come out delicious. But for cost savings, I don't get the boneless, skinless chicken breast. I get the full chicken, the split chicken breast. So it's got the breast with the ribs and so forth. So I'm going to show you an easy way to debone your chicken breast, and it'll save at the cash register, and it's really good for you. A lot of protein in chicken. That's why we're going to have it. By the way, we're back in Johnny's Galley. So, all right. So now I've thawed out my chicken breast. And let's see. And we're going to clean as we go, of course, because I'm going to need this cutting board again after I cut up the chicken to use it for the Brussels sprouts. All right, so this is the rib cage. This is the rib bones on a chicken right here. We got to cut those out to be able to make our medallions. And it's a very simple process to do. Get one of the nice knives. I've had this knife, by the way, for 35 years, I believe it is. So this has been a good knife through all the time. Okay, so basically I'm just slipping it underneath the ribs, cutting the chicken meat away from the rib, and I do that without cutting myself. And we want to get out all the bone and all the cartilage, and we get it out like that. Get a little bit more, and you cut it. The closer you cut it to the bone, the more meat that you'll be able to enjoy. But the amount of meat that you lose by doing this is a lot less than the extra amount that you're going to spend when you buy boneless, skinless. So you get it? And this is why I do this myself. So I'm flattening it out and just cutting the ribs off. Now, this may not be the way that the chefs do it, but this is the way I do it. And it has brought me many a delicious dishes. So, also too, when you're making chicken and you're not doing a medallion style, chicken always tastes better if it has the bone in it. However you cook it, whether you bake it, broil it, boil it, the chicken always tastes better if it has the bone in it. So that's why I like to get my chicken breasts, because I don't always make these medallions, but they're just fun. And when you make enough of them, you can kind of convince yourself that you're fuller faster. All right, again, tonight's meal is going to be chicken medallions, seasoned and spiced, cooked in the air fryer, and Brussels sprouts. Now, a lot of you guys say Brussels sprouts, oh, that's disgusting. But Brussels sprouts are actually really good, and they're good for you, and they actually help promote the promote the production of testosterone. So that's really good for the men, and then their ladies, and then their wives and lady friends, if they're not married, benefit from that as well, because it's better for you after you eat, if you know what I mean. So Brussels sprouts are definitely good for that. Again, stimulates the production of testosterone. So what I do after I buy a bunch of split chicken breasts, I will take them, into my house, and then I unpackage them, because usually you get 4 to 6 breasts at a time in a packet. So I take them out of the packet that they come in, I wrap them in Glad wrap, and then stick each individual breast into a freezer bag, and that way, I'll put 2 or 3 in the same freezer bag, and then that way you have individual chicken breasts all wrapped up. So if you only have 2 people for dinner, you can just pull out 2 breasts and thaw out 2 breasts and make 2 breasts. But since it's just me, and it's just me tonight, I'm just doing the one. So yes, I know we're going to do that blood pressure before dinner. As you can see, when I say medallion size, I just cut my chicken down to pieces like that big, maybe even smaller. And it's like I just cut that piece in half, and then I just go through and I cut my chicken. Now, you don't have to do a medallion. You can do them, what do you call it? You can do it in strip form too. So we'll have to dig the bag back out and put the skin in there. And trust me, a little bit of chicken fat ain't gonna hurt you. And even though you can buy boneless, skinless, it's not that they're cleaning the fat off of it, they're just taking the skin off. So just like we just did here, see, whole glop of chicken skin, that's going to go in the trash. It's going to go in the sealable bag that this breast was stored in, and it's going to sit there. Okay. And what we're going to do, we're going to slice this up, and then we're going to make our own marinade. So as we clean the cutting board for slicing the Brussels sprouts, this will be soaking in its marinade and get nice and juicy, and then we'll add some dry rub to that, and we're going to have some really good chicken. All right, so this will be really super tasty. Now, Rachel Ray always espouses to have a garbage bowl, right? But I'm not Rachel Ray. My kitchen is a lot smaller. So I'm just going to put it in this mixing bowl that I got from the Dollar Tree. So that's in the mixing bowl. Let's see. Retrieving my bag that I stuck my bones in. Now I'm going to stick my skin in there. I'm going to dispose of this. All right. Now I'm going to wash up. Now when you're cooking at home, as you guys know, if you're not novices of cooking at home, then you know that cleanliness as you cook is very, very important. So, and it's always easier to clean as you go than to try to keep getting everything dirty and then cleaning up 12 pieces, you know, as afterwards. It just kind of takes away from the ambiance of having your own dinner. All right, so I'm going to hit the garbage disposal real quick. Yeah, now, here's the thing. Like a lot of places, you're not going to hear all the kitchen noises and stuff like that, but the kitchens are never quiet. You know, you always got stuff going on, right? All right, so for the marinade, we're going to use sesame oil because I like sesame oil, so I'm going to put that in there. And then a little bit of roasted habanero pineapple. This is really good stuff. We'll put that on the chicken and a little bit of this. Lee & Perrins Worcestershire sauce. Best Worcestershire sauce for the best tasting cooks. All right? So, we're going to do some Lee & Perrins. We're going to put in some sesame oil. How much? To taste. Sesame oil. And now, let's open up this beautiful bottle of pineapple habanero. Yeah. So I got people scattering all over. All right, so we got that done. We're gonna shake this up. Get all these pieces of pineapple and habanero. Now, usually I make this out of the gardens that I grow, but since I moved to Florida, I haven't had much luck doing stuff in my garden. This year might be different because I've already planted my jalapenos and I've planted my tomatoes. So hopefully I will have tomatoes and jalapenos. I'm not doing habaneros, but I'm doing tomatoes and jalapenos this year in pots, because where I live, I don't have a yard to make my own garden, which is a shame. So now this is what it looks like. We're going to mix this up by hand and make sure that all the chicken's got this sauce on it. And then we're going to add some dry rub to them. And this will be really delicious. Now, earlier on today, I made 2 cups of white rice because I like rice. Even though it's high in carbohydrates, it's also good to just have, you know, because you don't eat a lot of it per sitting. But that's something else that we're going to make some honey with. And what we're going to do is we'll do the habaneros, and then we're going to mix it into the rice, drizzle some honey over it, and it's going to be delicious. All right, so we got the chicken done. That goes over there, out of the way, right? Brussels sprouts. Gotta love Brussels sprouts. Again, real good for the testosterone production. And everybody has to know what testosterone is for, right? This is just a 12-ounce bag from Walmart. Which everything used to be sold in the pounds, but not anymore. So now what I like to do is just half them. Now again, this is straight from frozen, so I'm getting this done. You know, now I cut them in half because I don't like them rolling around. I don't like my little mini cabbages, which is what I call Brussels sprouts. I don't like them rolling around all over the plate. So we're going to cut these in half. Makes it easier to serve, easier to eat, and it gives them pockets for the honey to go in. Now again, this could be easily put on a couple of drizzles of Leon Parent's Worcestershire sauce. It's very good stuff. So we're going to get this. And then soon enough, we're going to turn on that daggone air fryer. And then we'll create a dry rub for the chicken. In the meantime, we'll be cooking the Brussels sprouts. And we'll have a bowl ready for Brussels sprouts and a rice mix. Now, not everything is bowls, right? I mean, since I live by myself, I'm just going to use a container and mix it all up in the container, right? Makes it easy. So, I'm going to pop this open, get my little catch, put this back in. As you can see, I'm kind of fastidious when it comes to my kitchen, right? My kitchen's my kitchen. Now, I'm do my air fryer. This is the basket for the Ninja air fryer. In the meantime, well, actually, let's put this back in. We'll get this heated up. I always do 400. I always do 400 on the Ninja air fryer. See if we can't get a shot of that. Yeah, this is the air fryer right here. Heat it up for just a couple of minutes, and then we're going to put the Brussels sprouts in. And then, in the meantime, while that's heating up, we're going to go ahead and add some seasonings to it, to the sprouts. Of course, being Greek, I love my garlic. I love my onion. And then this is a Badia Complete Seasonings. Very good. And I'm going to add a little bit of this. I didn't know that this was my full onion powder. I thought I had already opened it. But I guess not. Use the knife. Pop the lid on this. If you're going to do that, make sure you put your shaker back on. And then we're just going to season this up. Right? You got a little bit of onion. Now, how much do you put on? You do it to taste. And then some of this, which is the garlic. See, now, in my house, I use garlic a lot more than I do onion because I just love garlic, right? Garlic's really good, by the way, for your blood pressure. And yes, you can eat if you can eat a clove of garlic every morning, your blood pressure is going to go way down. Oops, I'm sorry. We're going to speed this up. I didn't realize how long we've been together today. All right. So we got that. Then a little bit of this. All right. And then we got this. Take this out. Oh, you still can't see it. I'm sorry, guys. But I'm just putting this into my air fryer. Do that. Take my oil, a little shot of oil, shake it up a little bit, get them all spread out kind of a lot. We'll stick them in here. We're gonna do like 5 to 8 minutes. And we'll stick them into this. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. We'll get out our rice. This is rice that I made earlier today. Again, when you're making rice, best way to do it that I found is 2 cups of water to 1 cup of rice. You bring the, you make sure you have a top, and you bring the water to a boil. Then once it's to a rapid, angry looking boil, you cut the heat back, and then once you cut the heat back, then you add in the rice, put the lid on it, and let it stand for 15 to 20 minutes. No more than 20 minutes, and usually no less than 15. All right? And that gives you incredible rice. And when you eat the rice, you're like, yes, I got the rice going, and I got it done right. Okay, so that. All right. Now again, I always, after my rice is made and it's cooled down, I transfer it into a pot that I can put in the fridge. All right, and that'll be good for 2 or 3 days. I'll be allowed to keep that and still eat off of it. Now all I'm doing is I'm cleaning down the board, the cutting board. Why? Because I like this cutting board and I want to keep using it. Now we got to make the dry rub for the, now we're going to make the dry rub for the chicken. And we'll get that going. And then once the Brussels sprouts are done, we can put the chicken in, and 7-8 minutes in the air fryer, the chicken will be done, and then dinner will be served. I am going to use the same dry rub because I like this dry rub. Put it right in over top of the jalapenos. The habanero. Okay, so putting in my onion. Now, can you use real onion and dice it up real nice and small? Of course. Can you use real garlic and dice it up real nice and small and just mix it in? Of course you can. But I have the dry seasonings, and I'm going with that. So the great thing about cooking your own stuff is that you get to tell how much of everything is in there that you like. So it works out, right? So now what I'm doing is I'm just tossing my chicken pieces into this, so we can spread that dry rub around. It's really good stuff. Woo! All right. Let's check on our Brussels sprouts. See how they're doing. They might need a little shaking around. They taste so good, but I'm going to go ahead and let them cook for a little bit longer. Again, too, usually I pass on desserts. I'm not a big dessert guy, but they're cooking, and I know I can pause the tape and everything, but it doesn't usually work out for me. So this is why I'm just doing it one long cut, and we'll have a nice little video. You guys can join me. You guys can join me for a delicious meal. I'm trying to get this put up onto YouTube before dinner time. So if you want to cook and follow what I'm doing, you're more than welcome to, because this is a great recipe. Okay, so we got that in. Now this is local. This is local honey from Tarpon Springs, which is just up the road about 10 miles. So local bees, local honey helps you with your allergies and so forth. Because, you know, let's face it, honey's just basically is just bee vomit, right? So that's all good stuff. And then what I do is I just spread this in, get the honey all over this. Now, with the dry rub on the Brussels sprouts, and then mixed in with the rice, it's a fantastic, I mean fantastico taste. So we're gonna have a good time eating this. In fact, we're gonna cheat. Okay. Right amount of flavoring for that. Chicken. Right into the bottom of the air fryer. Again, we're going to use the same oil that was in there, which is just like a little squirt, little teaspoon. And again, too, anything I don't eat tonight, I'll just save for tomorrow. And heck yeah, everything tastes great with eggs on it, right? Just give you a hint for tomorrow morning's breakfast. If I have leftovers, I'm going to have this chicken concoction, which I always call it the mother and, you know, the mother and baby version, when I can mix my eggs and chicken together. All right, so we got this in there. All right. All right, so now we're going to take this again, all the chicken, very well seasoned, very well marinated. Put that in there. Okay, so as you can see, I didn't add a whole lot to it. Just some really good flavors. Let me go ahead and drop a little bit more oil in there. Now, if I wanted to, I could have doused that into flour and made like fried chicken pieces, which is decadent. But, you know, flour, right? Why put in the extra stuff? Okay, so while that is cooking, I'm going to go ahead and clean our mixing bowl. And get this ready to go back into the cupboard. All right. And now, everything else gets put away. I'm going to keep my oil in my fridge right alongside the Lee and Parents and right alongside the habanero sauce. Now tonight, I did not add hot sauce to my recipe, but you know, I'm kind of a big Frank's fan as far as hot sauce goes. I like Frank's. And I also like Crystal. And of course, Tabasco is always great. But Tabasco does use a preservative, and I'm not fond of the preservatives. So, it's Frank's and Crystal's. So I got that little bit of chicken. It's just one breast. You can feed 2 to 3 people off of one breast, as long as you have a good side dish. And this Brussels sprouts are an incredible side dish. So that's it. Now, me, you know, got a little bit of problem with the old blood pressure, so I tend not to add salt to my food, or at least not a lot of salt. And a lot of times I'll just replace the salt with garlic or garlic powder or onion powder just for the flavoring. Now on occasion I'll use some salt, but generally no. And I do use I buy a big thing of Himalayan sea salt from Costco, and I just use that salt when I do use it. So we're waiting on the chicken to be done. Okay, so now it's been cooking for 4 minutes, and I'm just shaking it around to get it more even. Got the air fryer set at 400. And it's working its magic. I figure another 5 minutes and this will be done. So I'm going to put the camera on pause. Okay, so I did put the camera on pause because I didn't want you to have to sit around listen to me for blowing and going for 10 more minutes. We're going to check the chicken now. So it's been in for 10 minutes. Look at that. Look at that. That's perfectly cooked chicken. This is going to be a delicious meal. But I'm going to transfer it out of this pot and put it into this one. Okay. Now it's very little to clean up, but I gotta let it cool down and then I'll clean it. All right, so we got the chicken and we have the Brussels sprouts with rice and honey. And of course, seasoning on the Brussels sprouts. So I'm gonna go ahead and give this a try. Rice on the plate, along with Brussels sprouts. Okay. And now, adding some chicken. Now, last thing I can tell you is that buying chicken, buying boneless, skinless chicken costs way more than split chicken breast. So, it's easy. We showed you how to debone the chicken today. Easy speasy. And now let's give this a shot. Get some Brussels sprouts, some chicken, some rice. Guys, if you all follow this this recipe, you're in for a real treat tonight, or this afternoon, or whenever you see it. If you're going to have it for lunch or dinner, that is fabulous. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining Big John Getting in Shape at 58 in Johnny's Galley for tonight's special episode and special dinner. Do the right thing. It's quitting time.